Did Moses exist? What archaeology actually says. Imagine 600,000 men. Add their wives, their children, their elderly. You are now looking at nearly 2 million people walking through a desert. For 40 years, this is the story of Moses and the Exodus, one of the most famous events in human history, believed by over 2 billion Christians, over 1 billion Muslims, and the entire Jewish faith. But here is the question no one wants to ask. The Bible is very specific. The book of Exodus says the Israelites were slaves in Egypt for 400 years. Moses led them out. The Red Sea parted. God spoke from a burning bush. They wandered Sinai for 40 years before reaching the promised land of Canaan. It is a powerful story, a story of liberation, of divine justice. But the Bible is not an archaeology textbook. So what does the ground actually tell us? Since the 1970s, archaeologists have been digging the Sinai Peninsula systematically, thoroughly.
Led by some of the world's top teams, including from Egypt's own Supreme Council of Antiquities.
Their conclusion? No evidence found, no campsites, no mass graves, no pottery, no remains of 2 million people passing through. Nothing. Now look at Egypt. The Egyptians recorded everything: battle victories, tax collections, flood levels of the Nile, even the price of fish. But there is not a single Egyptian record of Hebrew slaves. Not one mention of Moses. Not one record of a plague, or a parting sea, or the death of a pharaoh's firstborn son. There is one famous inscription called the Merneptah Stele, dated to 1208 BCE. It mentions Israel by name. This is actually the oldest known reference to Israel outside the Bible, but it refers to Israel as a people already living in Canaan, not as slaves escaping Egypt. Israel Finkelstein is one of the world's leading biblical archaeologists. He is not an atheist activist. He is a Jewish Israeli scholar at Tel Aviv University. His conclusion after decades of research: the Exodus as described in the Bible did not happen. Now, to be fair, religious scholars do push back, and some of their points deserve serious attention. They say, absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. Fair point. Desert conditions destroy organic material. 2 million people may leave less trace than we expect. They say the timelines might be wrong. Maybe the Exodus happened earlier or later than assumed. Also possible. Dating ancient events is genuinely difficult. They say maybe the numbers in the Bible are symbolic. 600,000 may not mean literally 600,000. This is actually where many moderate religious historians land. But here is the problem with all of these arguments. They are all asking us to make the story smaller and smaller, to make it survivable. Fewer people, different timeline, symbolic numbers. At what point does the story become something entirely different from what billions of people believe? Here is where mainstream scholarship actually stands today. Most historians and archaeologists, including many who are themselves Jewish or Christian, believe the Exodus story is not literal history. It is likely a mythologized origin story, built perhaps around a smaller real migration, or a collective memory of oppression under Egyptian rule. Archaeological evidence actually suggests the Israelites did not come from Egypt at all. They most likely emerged from within Canaan itself, gradually developing a distinct identity over centuries. Moses himself may be a composite figure, or a legend, or based on a real but far more ordinary person. American archaeologist William Deaver, a practicing Christian, wrote that the Exodus as the Bible describes it is, quote, simply not historically possible. So did Moses exist? Probably not in the way 2 billion people believe. And the Exodus almost certainly did not happen the way Scripture describes. Now, this does not mean faith is worthless, or that religion has no value. But it does mean this: when religion makes historical claims, history has the right to respond, and the evidence speaks clearly. If you found this video useful, subscribe. We cover the stories that textbooks and temples both tend to avoid. Next week, was Jesus a real person? what historians actually say.